Because David Benavidez should have been in Munguia's position first and foremost if that fight does get made with. It's all all just it's petty stuff. A lot of stuff is petty stuff. Frustratingly petty. And it shouldn't be. We shouldn't be having these types of conversations. It should just be, we gotta fight. Boom. Stuff is agreed upon. It's happening in May, September. We're gonna make these things go. Bing, bang, boom. No more debating over discussions. Who's A side, B side? Who's deserving more than the other? Who's got the cachet, the name value? Talent and merit gets you the opportunity. And if somebody gets there, okay, you got to fight. Scared or not. Intimidated or not. Whatever the circumstances are, you got to fight them. It would make boxing discourse so much easier and so much more exciting. Rather than having to argue, debate, mediate, ruminate over just I'm not going to say mundane stuff, but the business side. Not saying the business side isn't important. But if we're talking about the business side of boxing more than the actual sport itself, that's a problem. That's like talking about the NBA contracts more than talking about the actual production in the MVP race in the NBA. That's what this is. That's like talking about a quarterback's contract for the majority of the season rather than the actual games that are being played in the playoff race that is ensuing. And the matchups against big-time NFL squads. This shouldn't be that we're having this continuous conversation trying to instead of pad, not even pad, trying to make content if we're content creators, if we're analysts, if we're people covering the sport or the sports world in general. We should not be, and you the fans shouldn't have to listen to this type of conversation consistently. Because this is not what we as fans, as analysts, as experts who do this stuff. I'm not saying I'm an expert or not. I know what I know, and that's all I know. I will let you be the judge of that. But the point being, we shouldn't be talking and debating about these types of topics. Who deserves more money? Was it that he was getting underpaid? Is he the A side or B side? Does he deserve a shot or not? Well, that we can't discuss. Yes, let me phrase it. That we can discuss if he deserved a shot. But this type of stuff, oh, he's too big for this man. Oh, he's too good for this man. He shouldn't waste his time. All of this stuff, whether it's Tank, whether it's Ryan, whether it's Devin Haney, whether it's Canelo, whether it's Tyson Fury, whether it's Francis Ngannou, anybody in the realm of boxing specifically, we should not be talking about contracts and money to this high of a level to where it overtakes the fights that we want to see. It shouldn't be this way. This isn't how boxing's supposed to work. This isn't how the sport that I love is supposed to operate. We want athletes to get their money. Absolutely. But at some point in time, we have to ask, are they pricing themselves out too highly? Are they making themselves bigger than what they actively are? Especially for where the sport is right now. Are they going out of their way to to muddy up these types of talks because they think too highly of themselves? And I don't say this lightly, but it's come to a point in time where we have to look and say, look, well, you're a big star, but how big are you should dictate where you can actually negotiate. And if you keep pricing yourself out like this, we lose interest and we don't get fights we want to see. Hence, with all the momentum that we got last year, it's going to die off. It's going to die off. It really is. And it's frustrating. We shouldn't be having to wait until May, June, and July for the slew of big-time matches, like Inoue fighting Nery, like Tyson Fury fighting Usyk, like Bivol versus Beterbiev. All that's happening in the summer, which I'm ecstatic for. But why can't we have all year-round stuff like we had last year, like we used to have back in the 80s, 70s, the 90s even? Dare I say the early 2000s? We shouldn't be having these conversations on a daily basis when it comes to these types of fighters. when it comes to the matches that we want to see. Speculating why it did or didn't happen. Speculating who's deserving and who's not deserving of money. Speculating who is in fact too big for an opponent versus who's actually deserving. It shouldn't be this type of discourse. You fans don't deserve this type of discourse. Nobody that follows the sport, that covers the sport, should have to bear this type of idiotic discourse on a constant basis in terms of everything else but the fight. That shouldn't be what this sport is about. That's what it's turning into. Who's ducking who? Who's avoiding who? Who's not getting in the ring with who? Oh, the reasons why he's not getting in the ring with them. Oh, he's too big for him. Oh, he can't bring in enough revenue. Oh, his value isn't big enough. Oh, he can't bring enough viewership. Oh, he's a pillow-fisted fighter. He won't be able to actually put butts in seats. But just get in the ring. Just get in the ring. If he's that pillow-fisted, put him out. Knock him out. If you ain't got nothing to worry about, walk through him. If you think you're outclassing somebody, they don't deserve to be in the ring, fine. Make the fight with a sooner and quicker date in terms of training camp, since you're saying he doesn't require all that much time, and get him out of there. Whoever this opponent is. If you think they're not on your level, okay, take the fight and just make it happen. And shut up the noise right then and there. Make it so that they don't got to worry about him no more, because he's no longer a factor in any of these conversations. Just go through. That's the easiest thing to do. Easy. That never made sense to me. An easy fight that can make you a paycheck. Plain and simple. You can make a highlight reel and get spectacular type KOs. Boom. Now your cachet and revenue can go up even more in the next fight. Keep on building up your resume. Up until now, you're the name everybody wants to call. Like David Benavidez. Went through, beat out everybody else in the division. Beat out most of the opponents that Canelo faced himself. And what did he do? Now made himself undeniable. Made himself the only name that anybody wants to see Canelo fight. He is one of the names that we can only think about. He has become so big that he is attached permanently to the biggest name in boxing. And how did he do that? He beat everybody else who wasn't Canelo. It's that simple. He beat everybody else that wasn't Canelo. He beat every other legitimate name that wasn't Canelo. And just said, okay, if I can't face him and you don't belong in the ring with me, okay, I'll beat you. I'll knock you out in phenomenal fashion. Then I'll move on. Who else do I need to fight? You? Okay, boom. Done. Out. Put him in the hospital. Did that with everybody. Did it with everybody. Didn't wait around. Now he's moving up. Now he is moving up. Going to light heavyweight. What will he do? Keep on doing the same thing. Earn his shot. We shouldn't be having these conversations. We really shouldn't. This shouldn't be how we operate in terms of how we discuss boxing. Sports in general should not be this much of a circus. That's what this is, a circus. Yes, the sports realm is a sports realm. We love sports media. I'm in sports media. I'm trying to be the biggest in the world. Hey, with your help, we can make it happen. but the point is, you deserve better. You as fans, you, and you. All of you watching this, you deserve better in terms of talking and discussing this sport. You don't deserve fandom. You don't deserve bias. You don't deserve having somebody or tearing down another fighter just because they're not another person's favorite fighter. You don't deserve to have talks of A side, B side be the driving force behind whether somebody is a good matchup or not. You don't deserve ducking conversations being the only conversation that we have to drive the sport. If you watch this sport or sports in general, this shouldn't be how media covers this. But it's all we have because that's all that's going on. If fighters only fight a couple times, two, Canelo wants to fight 3 times a year. Mike would fight 15. Sugar Ray Robinson would fight once every couple of days. Rematch the next week. It's stupid what they would do back then. I say stupid in a kind way. It's stupid as it is incredible. Almost illogical by today's standards. But they did it. The golden age of boxing went this way, worked this way, operated like it's supposed to operate, earned their shot, won belt. You fought. If you think you're better, get in the ring. If you don't think you're better, still get in the ring. It doesn't matter. You're going to be forced to get in the ring. Because you can't move up if you don't beat anybody. No matter how, even if they moved smartly, still, it was sooner rather than later they had to step into the ring with some real competition. And they shut up all that noise over who would be who. That's it. You reigned, you lost, you got back. Wasn't who's avoiding who, wasn't who's trying to be the biggest name in the world. It's just straight up, you earn the right to be the biggest name. Which, hey, nowadays, Canelo has done. No problem there. But beyond that, the discourse surrounding him and every other named boxer is so muddied with just mess, fluff, outright innocuous things that don't add anything to the sport, really, outside of, okay, we get to see all the mess that goes on in the business side of the sport, which is indeed mess and makes this sport look more like a travesty than an enjoyment that we all want to watch every time it comes on. That's all. We're highlighting the absolute travesty that the business side of boxing is, all because that's all we have to go on. Because that's becoming a bigger story than the actual fight itself, which it shouldn't be. You all don't deserve to have that as the driving force behind content that you watch. Hopefully I do a good job of not making that into just blase type content, blase type analyst. This shouldn't be what I nor you, especially you, have to witness and hear on a day-to-day basis. It shouldn't be that we talk about the business more than the fight. The fight should be the business, not the other way around. It shouldn't be. The most intriguing fight that we've seen in boxing is who can call whose bluff at the negotiation table. Who can do what to what promoter? What promoter can out-promote another? Who's got the biggest bag that they can throw around or that they can attain? Rather than who can put on the best fight and what fighter can perform the best against the best. That's the type of discourse that we deserve, that you deserve. Not this. This. No. This shouldn't be. It's a travesty that it is.